This afternoon, I'm pleased to talk with Lily Mei. She's the mayor of Fremont, California, one of our leadership mayors, and we're going to find a little bit more out about what's going on in Fremont. Lily, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much for
You're
this
welcome.
opportunity to share a little bit about some of the exciting things that are going on in Fremont. Fremont is going through a period of rapid change. We have Tesla expanding its manufacturing, as well as a lot of opportunities for going green in terms of transportation. And we are building housing and affordable housing, senior housing. And I'm excited to be the first woman and first minority and Asian mayor ever in our history of 62 years.
That's such great news. You know, I've noticed it at the conference how the landscape is changing, and you're part of that leadership team that's making things happen.
What? Yes, I'm excited to be able to come and share best practices and to learn from my fellow mayors.
Yeah. What, of all the things that are happening in Fremont, how would you characterize them? Is it really about the infrastructure, innovation, inclusion? I mean, what's your focus right now?
I think what I realize when I look at some of the issues that are going on right now in my city and also nationwide is realizing how so much of them are in touch with each other. So it's kind of being facilitating as a hub and looking at the connections on how education affects our social services, how housing and workforce balance, jobs balance are so critical. And then as I am in a sandwich generation with my parents being seniors as myself aging and my college students.
Right.
So looking at how do we address making it an age-friendly city that's
great.
inclusive and welcoming of the diversity that my city represents.
Yeah, that's great. You know, these things are all interdependent, and I think the smart mayors really understand how that's working. What would you say is happening for you here at the conference this year?
For me at the conference this year, I think one of the things that's important for us to have these discussions on is how can we make sure that our people's voices are being heard. I know there's a discussion regarding the census and the questions that allowing people to feel comfortable enough to answer and respond. And it's not for just a partisan discussion. It's looking at how can we ensure that the people that are being counted are being able to provide services.
Right.
So for us, it's important to include everybody and make people feel welcome and participating in that.
Right.
And then also looking at how some of the solutions on traffic and on development and how can we partner on these together.
Right.
And I'm very impressed by all the policy discussions. I was very pleased to have the opportunity to moderate a discussion on cybersecurity, which is pertinent and relevant to the work, the discussions today with our mayors. And it's also something that I'm very much a champion for because I used to be involved in technology for many years, and I used to run a trade association preventing counterfeiting.
Oh, wow.
And so intellectual property
What a
and brand
background.
protection for.
Yeah, that's great. What one of our passions at Civic is about community branding, city images, city brands. When people come into Fremont, what do you think they think, and how are you working to shape that identity?
Well, I think that Fremont's been known always for its quality of education and for being a wonderful, safe city to live in. And it's actually voted the #1 happiest city in the United States. But when they're going through periods of transition, whether it's growth or housing or economic development, and certainly with traffic, those become a challenge. And so therefore being receptive to the needs of our citizens, trying to figure out how can we best address them, looking at ways that we can implement technology such as Open City Hall or other options are ways that we can allow the people to be in touch. I'm also very pleased to have been able to go out in a lot of town halls or speak to our Rotaries, speak to our business associations and bring people together. And I think that that's what makes Fremont really unique and special is that we have such a wealth of diversity of cultures, heritage, religions, and that we work well, live well, and play well together.
Wow, that sounds like the perfect recipe. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you. It was nice talking to you.